And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Flashback Comics in Woodbridge, Virginia. I am Troy David Phillips, and with me today is Kevin Goswan. Comics Online, everything geek pop culture. San Diego Comic-Con 2012.
This is from a couple of years ago.
You're living in the past, Kevin. You're living in the past.
But I've got zombie Robert Kirkman right here on my shirt.
Living in the past. Contemporize, man.
We don't have a 2014.
Why not?
Somebody dropped the ball. Somebody other than me. Although it was partly me too. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What's up? What's up this week in comics?
A lot of things are up this week in comics. I've picked out some, and I see you've picked out some, and I'm jazzed and excited. Have you read last week's comics yet?
I read a couple of them. I've been busy, but yes, I have read a couple.
Okay. I'm not going to talk about them today, but I am going to recommend, if you're not already reading Batman Eternal, it has an incredible lineup of talent writing this weekly series from DC Comics. Pick up Batman Eternal. I would also recommend, based on the stellar talent involved in the book, if you're not reading the weekly series Future's End, you should be checking this out. It will lead us into the next big DC event. We'll talk about that another time.
Who are the stellar talent? That's what I want to know.
Oh, my goodness. Are you serious, Kevin?
Just a quick.
Kevin, hold my microphone. Hold my microphone.
Yeah. Yeah, so stellar talent. I mean, you can say stellar talent, but you don't know who it is.
Okay. Stellar talent like Brian Azzarello, Keith Giffen, Dan Jurgens, Jeff Lemire, Pat Zerker. Is that stellar enough for you?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought so. And Seeley and Snyder and Tinian the Fourth over on Batman Eternal. Yeah.
Are they going to fix New 52? Because I'm still not unhappy.
It's not broken per se. Still unhappy. You're still unhappy. There are things I'm unhappy about too, but I have to get over them.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the rising price of petroleum products.
Bad books are still good. Bad books are still awesome. So whatever, it's fine.
Yes, we'll have to talk about this on perhaps a forum like the podcast setting,
like the Comics Online podcast, the audio version rather than the standing around in the comic store version.
Yeah, really. We'll actually have to sit down and talk about our thoughts, our honest opinions and feelings on the New 52 from the beginning to the present.
That'd be fun.
3 years of comics.
That's going to be a huge podcast. It might be multiple parts.
It might be. I guarantee that we could go on at length about this for at least 2 hours, possibly more if alcohol is involved.
That's how my podcast works. Right. So, yeah. Yeah, so it'll be fun. It'll be just the audio version. So,
yeah, no one needs to see me drinking. No. There's a lot of slurping involved.
So what's your first one this week?
This week, I'm going to start. Now, last week I was all Marvel, and I almost feel bad about being a Marvel shill, but this week I'm going to kick it with a Marvel to start with the latest Captain Marvel. Okay?
Ooh.
Yes, indeed. Carol Susan Jane Danvers, Captain Marvel. This is issue number 6, still written by Kelly Sue DeConnick, and it is amazing. Carol Danvers is still out in space, and she is really turning into Marvel's leading powerhouse heroine. She is avenging. She is teamed up with the Guardians of the Galaxy right now, and her story has had her in moral crises, helping out alien civilizations, finding out that Star-Lord's dad is a jerk. We knew that, but I don't think she really knew that. She has a cat. Rocket Raccoon doesn't like her cat, by the way.
I'm not into cats. I'm with Rocket.
Apparently, to Rocket's race, those cats are actually called something else, and they are deadly mortal enemies. Rocket has kind of a shoot-on-sight thing going on.
Rocket has a race now? I thought it was a one-off.
Well, that came from the film, but prior to that in the comics, the feeling was that there were more of him.
All right.
So we'll see how that plays out now that the film has sort of reset our thinking. But yes, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, get on this, people.
All right. Well, I'll give you my first one for this week. And this kind of sinks in with yours. Look what I found. Nova.
Why? The Nova special.
Nice, right? I miss Nova. I was really into the whole Richard Rider thing, particularly when he had the World Mind.
Yes.
I was loving that. So let me just say, attention, Richard Rider. This is what does he say? This is very important. What does he say? He's always saying the same thing over and over.
It is critical that you pay attention at this time.
Oh yeah, I should have been paying attention, and then I would remember that. It is critical that you pay attention at this time.
Well, now you are aware that the current Nova is actually a young man named Sam Alexander.
Whatever, Sam Alexander, Richard Rider.
Richard was lost.
Is he dead?
Well, so Richard was lost at the end of the events of the Thanos Imperative. He was, remember, in the Cancerverse, and Peter Quill was over there, and Thanos was over there. Now, Star-Lord is back. Thanos is back. We haven't seen Richard Rider yet. There's no reason to believe that Richard couldn't possibly be fighting his way back to us. Maybe there's a reason he's stuck there. Maybe that's going to be coming up soon. Maybe it's a mega arc that you should be looking for. Maybe you should be reading more comics.
Maybe I need to read this one.
You absolutely do. You absolutely do.
Yeah. So how many? Now I recall that the members of the Nova Corps. They share a power pool, right? And so with the more that there are, the less powered each one individually was.
They do still have it sort of predicated that there's a baseline of power. Obviously, you would recruit more Novas into the Corps as necessary. It's when you consolidate that power where the power levels start to rise dramatically. We had seen back in the days of the Avengers, Garth Saul, the supernova. He was the giant one.
Right.
And then again, that story played out with Richard Rider when he possessed it, and the World Mind was kind of helping him through it, saying, yeah, Garth and Saul failed, but, you can succeed. And he did actually succeed. In any event, the Black Novas are kind of separate from the Nova Centurions, so I'm not sure that their power base is drawn from the same well, or that their power works exactly the same. There are questions about the Xandarian Nova Corps that have not been fully answered as yet.
Cool. Mm-hmm. I'm back in. Let's do this. What's your next one?
Okay. Now, I haven't had time to read this yet, but I have been reading from IDW. IDW, I've been reading the Judge Dredd book, particularly the ones written by Dwayne Straczynski. Although I have also enjoyed catching up with the Judge Dredd classics. Those have also been a lot of fun. Judge Anderson, IDW. Okay. Judge Anderson is a psychic, and she is part of the Judge's PSI-Division. She is a telepath, empath, psychic sensitive, if you will. She often works with Judge Dredd. She has the ability to, it's called psychometry. When you touch an object and you know things that have happened, she can get something similar off of other people. But she also carries a lawgiver. She is a judge. She should not be underestimated. She should not be messed with. I'm assuming that the helmets interfere with their psychic abilities, so Anderson is often seen without her helmet, while Dredd is often never seen without his helmet.
Right. So on the Dredd tip, so now that our friend Leonard Bones McCoy version 2.0 has lost his television show, maybe we can have a new Dredd, because I loved that movie.
That would be all right. That would be absolutely all right. And I would like to see Judge Anderson in it. I was exposed to Judge Anderson with the Titan Eagle series back in the 1980s when she had voluntarily entrapped Judge Death within herself. Of course, Judge Death would later be released, and Anderson would return to the regular cast. But she was always a very interesting character, pinging off of Dredd, who's so emotionally stoic. He's very emotionally repressed almost. And Anderson is much freer. I wouldn't really call her a free spirit. She's not all that irresponsible or flighty or breezy, but she is much more open.
More human than Dredd is very closed off.
Yes. And you'd almost think the opposite would be true, because as a psychic, you'd think she'd want to close herself off just to protect herself from all of the random effluvia in the psychic network.
Right.
In any event, Judge Anderson, IDW, #1, pick that up.
Nice. My next item is another Marvel thing, because I'm pretty much a Marvel zombie. Punisher versus Thunderbolts, #3.
Oh my goodness!
So I like Thunderbolts back in in its original incarnation.
Oh yes.
I haven't been reading too many of them in this new volume that they're on now. But I like the idea, and I've enjoyed the changing cast over the years. It's for those people who read DC and not Marvel so much, it's kind of similar to like your Suicide Squad type of thing, where you've got a group of baddies who are
given an opportunity
to do right because or else.
Well, in some cases, it's or else. In other cases, in previous incarnations, the characters have tried their own redemptions. They're trying to do something better than what they had done before. They're villains that are tired of being villains. They're tired of getting beaten up all the time. They want to change their lives, and they come to enjoy the aspects of heroism. In other cases, they're hardcore prisoners who are given an opportunity to work off parts of their sentence. In this particular case, it's General Ross's Black Ops team, where he brings together a bunch of characters who are all about business, who can get things taken care of, and the deal is you work with me on my mission, and then we will take turns, and I will help each one of you with your missions. And so it's been the Red Hulk, it's been Elektra, the Punisher, Ghost Rider, Deadpool, and the new version of the leader, the Red Leader. The Punisher has had reason to break free and has turned on the other Thunderbolts. I don't want to shoot it all the way right now. It would make our podcast take an awful lot longer. But you should come check out the Thunderbolts, issue number 29, part 3 of Punisher versus Thunderbolts. That's Kev's pick.
That's my pick. And you know what I just noticed? And like I say, I'm new to this book here. Acker and Blacker, the comedians are writing this. So that's cool. I kind of really want to read this now.
Well, and I think you should.
Yeah. Ben Acker, Ben Blacker, if you look them up on YouTube, they're funny.
So that gets added to your reading pile.
Damn it, maybe. I gotta look into this, but probably. All right, what's your next one?
Next up on my hit parade is from DC Comics, based on their incredibly popular video game. This is Injustice Year 2. Injustice: Gods Among Us Year 2.
All right.
Now, the first series, the first 12 issues in the annual, set up the prequel to the events of the game itself. This continues along that thread. Year 2 we've seen some changes. We've seen a major character die. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't read it already. We've seen unusual alliances. Characters come together. I especially like the character development given to Harley Quinn through this series. We've seen Sinestro and the Green Lantern Corps. It's like this is going on Earth. Superman and his regime are doing what they're doing on Earth. What's the Green Lantern Corps doing about this? Are the Guardians of the Universe behind Superman's efforts, or do they oppose? Hal Jordan started out with Superman's regime, but is Hal Jordan going to toe the line of the Guardians? What happens if Sinestro throws his support behind Superman? How's that going to play out? Again, I know the answers to these questions. I just don't want to do a big reveal if you're behind reading. But you haven't caught up yet. Poor Kevin here has not read Injustice: Gods Among Us Year 2 yet.
Well, so you've because you've been reading the comics.
Yes.
Do you play that video game?
I do. And before anybody gets crazy about the challenging, I'm not that good. Not really. My favorite character right now is Hawkwoman. I'm also pretty good with Superman, Wonder Woman, Catwoman, and Harley Quinn, but I'm not that good. So if you're thinking, oh, I got to battle this guy online, no, you really don't. What about you, Kev?
I'm pretty good with Catwoman too, particularly the Long Halloween? Who was it? The Tim Sale?
The video game.
The Tim Sale. Oh no, that we're talking about something entirely different. Never mind. No, I have not played that video game yet. I used to play City of Heroes a lot, and this is pretty much the next game in town for all of us ex City of Heroes players. Eventually, I will play it.
You actually asked me to look for some City of Heroes back issues for you. I still need to do that. Drop me a reminder when the show's over.
All right. Yeah, we've got them here, yeah?
I have some. I don't have a whole lot, but
I'm not missing very many.
Well, good, because I'm not sure that I have very, very many.
Yeah, it's only the very end that I'm missing. So my next one,
next up,
folks, also Marvel, because like I say, Marvel Zombie here, Inhuman. I am a big fan of Joe Madureira, and Joe Mad is drawing an ongoing comic. Now, originally, when we were first talking about this before the show started, I said, oh, a new monthly. And, of course, Troy corrected me and said, no. Monthly is not how you describe this. It's a great book. It's an ongoing book, but it is not monthly. This is not coming out on time. How late is this book?
It's a little bit late. I don't want to call Joe Mad out on this one.
You know, he's a fantastic artist. He's got a lot on his plate. He's creating video games. He's doing, wonderful apparel.
He's an amazing talent.
His Mad Engine folks are pumping out things. Shout out to my folks out at Mad Engine.
And let's not understate the writing of Charles Soule. That is also...
What would I remember him from? Because I kind of remember that name, but...
Good Lord. Kevin. Yeah, and again...
What's his... Come on, he's got a big thing, and I just can't think of what it is.
I know, and I can't bring it right to my mind.
It's Stump Troy David Day.
You got to quit asking me this stuff on the spot.
So, in the meantime, Inhuman is obviously about a member of the Inhumans. Who is this?
Well, actually, several members of the Inhumans. As you might recall, the events of Infinity had Black Bolt crashing Atalan into New York Harbor and spreading Terrigen mist into the open atmosphere.
Like you do.
Second and third generation Inhumans, people who did not even know they had Inhuman blood in their veins, suddenly found their powers awakening. It's almost like waking up and finding out you're a mutant, having your mutant powers kick off. Only there's a different lineage here. You're not just human, you're Inhuman. That's not a bad thing, incidentally. I love the Inhumans and always have. Jack Kirby characters dropped on us way back in the Silver Age of comics. In any event, there is one character going around gathering up the Inhumans other than the royal family, and his intentions are not good. You will see main characters... why, as a matter of fact...
This guy. Spoilers. It's that guy.
Oh, my goodness, Kev. You did it. I can't believe you. In any event, you want to come pick up Inhuman #3, and I'll have to work and see if I could find more copies of 1 and 2. It came out, and it sold very strongly, and it was a very good read, and I'm now going to have to pull my 1 and 2 out and refresh before I can continue.
So what's your next one?
Well, next up on my hit parade is the final installment, issue number 20, of Dark Horse Star Wars. This is Brian Wood, issue number 20. This book has been so good. It kicked in as the bridge between Episode 4, A New Hope, and Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. And it took us through the event of stories that leads from the Battle of Yavin, the destruction of the Death Star, Darth Vader's down-dressing by the Emperor, and takes us all the way up to the point where we should be stationed on Hoth, waiting for the Imperials to drop a probe droid on us, and, well, you know that story already.
I have a question, though.
Yes.
Didn't the old Marvel series already hit that time period?
Well, not exactly. They were forced, obviously, to tell original stories without knowing how to bridge to the ongoing stories. The Lucasfilm... I guess Lucasfilm did not share many of their details. So Marvel had to spin off and lead into the adaptation rather abruptly of The Empire Strikes Back. The transition was not any more smooth when it came to Return of the Jedi, which was done as a separate 4-issue miniseries.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah. This, however, this is much better. Dark Horse has been able to literally dovetail out of the end of the film, knowing what they need to know, leading us into where we are going to go. Of course, at the time, Lucasfilm probably didn't want to reveal to Marvel that Darth Vader is really Luke's father, that Princess Leia is really Luke's sister.
Hold on.
But now that we already know those things, the story could concentrate on what it needed to concentrate on, and that was bridging these two films together. The original story in between has been an excellent tale. You have Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, Darth Vader. You have the characters that you do know, some interesting characters along the way. Mon Mothma was developed a little bit more. Several of the other minor characters of Star Wars, kind of almost like a contributory expanded universe. There's much more with them. Incidentally, Kev, since I know you missed out on it, the trade, Volume 1 of The Shadows of Yavin is available. I think a second volume will be coming up soon, so we'll get you caught up on this, guy. We'll get through this.
Luckily, yeah, Dark Horse has been really good about coming out with trades, and so if you've missed too many, you can find them. You can find them here with Troy. Troy will help you.
Yes, I will.
Yeah,
I support Dark Horse and their Star Wars efforts.
Indeed.
What's next on your hit parade?
Next on my hit parade is not a Marvel.
Wow.
And when it comes to Star Wars, I wonder, when is that going to go from Dark Horse over to Marvel? I'm not super enthusiastic about it. I think it's fine where it is, but that's got to happen eventually, right?
Well, it will happen eventually, and I'm not convinced that it will be a bad thing. I'll be sorry to see it leave Dark Horse, yes, but I think that Marvel will be able to treat it differently than they did under the auspices of Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
It'll all be in-house. It'll be Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, all together. I think that should work out pretty good.
I think we're in for more goodness. Now, this, I have to be honest, I'm going to get close here. I really only picked this for the cover because Rob Liefeld, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Liefeld. I am not familiar with this Mark Millar and Goran Parlov joint here, Starlight.
Well, let me dovetail onto you there,
Tell
Kev.
me.
Starlight deals with an aging hero, not unlike a Flash Gordon, who had some epic adventure off-planet. He was taken away by aliens to save their civilization from tyranny, and he did so, and he came back home, and no one believed that he had this adventure. And so he lived his life as that kind of disgraced celebrity, with his children not believing him, with no one really believing him, but as it turns out, it was all true. And aliens came back and said, hey, can you help us again? So they take him away again, and he once again leaps into the breach to help these people whom he still has very fond memories of, but now he's old. And it's hard fighting the Legion of Stormtrooper type guys. It's hard vaulting the balustrade or leaping into the town square, swinging a sword, shooting a ray gun, piloting a star rocket, what have you. These things aren't easy when you reach this age. And he's having to deal with those aspects of his mortality, and probably a little bit concerned with, how do I get back home?
So does this have any kind of feel like an Adam Strange sort of thing? Maybe a little bit?
A little bit. Adam Strange never had to deal with his own mortality quite this way, because he was younger and more vital. This guy, while he has the adventuring spirit, and very much he is a good person who wants to do the right thing, he's heroic. He's everything that I could like about a heroic character, and at the same time, he's past his prime. This stuff does not come easy.
Nice.
So now that you know that, I suppose I need to add this to your regular poll list?
Wait, slow down. Probably.
It's Mark Millar.
It's Mark Millar, who is fantastic, but Liefeld cover.
Liefeld cover, but
Liefeld, he's doing covers.
Goran Parlov. You should.
The interiors are nice.
Yeah, the interiors are quite beautiful. So
kind of reminds me a little bit of a simpler Mobius.
A little bit.
Sort of a thing.
There's some of that in there. A little Mobius, a little Gary Frank. That's
Gary Frank. Yeah,
I love Gary Frank. Absolutely love Gary Frank. By the way, I have that copy of Batman Earth 1 by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank you had asked about.
Ooh.
That's here now.
All right.
So I'll add that to your list. I know what your sub number is.
And your next one, sir?
Next and last for me, no surprise to anyone who knows me, shout out to my buddy Steve B. IDW again, folks. Godzilla Cataclysm #1. Oh my God, there's goose flesh on my arm. This is a real thing here. Yeah.
Oh, there is. He's really excited about this, folks.
I am.
Oh, wait. This is my friend Colin Bunn. Shout out to my actual real life buddy Colin Bunn. He's everywhere, that guy.
Okay. Mr. Bunn, I'm going to read your book, and I just want you to know that I am predisposed towards liking anything featuring this character. I have loved IDW's treatment of Godzilla and the other creatures in the Toho universe. They have actually had access to Rodan, Mothra, Batra, the Peanut Twins, the little fairies.
Oh, right.
And Anguirus and Hedorah the Smog Monster, two different versions of Mechagodzilla. and so on. So it's all the monsters we're familiar with the film franchise through the years. Showa, Heisei, Millennium, they're all there. They're characters that you love. Godzilla does his thing, and as usual, in the best Godzilla stories, there are humans scurrying about at his feet, and those humans have stories, and their stories are focused on. And some of these people are good people, and some of these people are not good people. But they're all interesting three-dimensional characters. So you want to pick this up and you want to read it. Did you know Dwayne Straczynski had taken a turn on Godzilla for quite a stretch?
I did not know that.
And it was really just damn good.
Seems like it would be.
It would be. So, Colin Bunn, I'm interested to see where we go with this.
And Wachter here doing the art.
Okay.
right.
You get a little bit of art there, ladies and gentlemen.
A little bit of art.
A little bit of art. I don't want to do too much spoiling. You know how I hate to do that.
Yeah.
But Godzilla, IDW. IDW is doing amazing things.
They are doing a lot of great stuff. My final one for this week is another image, and it's really over the course of the past couple of years, ever since I dropped out of most comics, this has been the one thing that I've been following, and it's The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead issue...
Is that 130?
130.
130, ladies and gentlemen. This book has been going on for 11 years.
And it is just amazing. That is one of the things that you'll be able to see when it comes to Comics Online's coverage of San Diego Comic-Con 2014. Not only did I speak with the folks over... just everybody, the whole cast and creators, but I also got a little bit of one-on-one time with one of the producers, and got my face made up. So look forward to that.
Yeah, I see. When are you going to take the makeup off? Walking Dead 130, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, Walking Dead, the trade paperback volumes from Image Comics, up to volume 21 now. And I do believe, given the numerical sequence of the trades, which is to say how many books are in each volume, I think the all-out war story, which ran, oh my lord, what was that, 115 to 125, I believe that's actually going to be split up. They're not going to be able to get all of that in one book. If you were getting the single issues at the time, remember, Walking Dead was coming out once every 2 weeks at that point as opposed to once a month, so you got twice as many issues. Got through that big story arc. It was pretty incredible.
It was. I'm really happy with the outcome. I was really worried that some more people that I loved would die, and I guess in truth some did. But
no spoilers here, ladies and gentlemen.
No
but
spoilers.
Do not get attached to anybody in The Walking Dead.
Nobody. No one is safe.
No one is safe.
That's what they've been saying for years.
And that's an interesting thing about Kirkman's series. Different from, say, a work of his like Invincible, where I think some characters might be safe there.
Like
a little
Invincible.
bit of character shield there.
Yeah.
Did you know that Kirkman wrote a couple issues of Ultimate Fantastic Four?
I did, as well as the Irredeemable Ant-Man, which it seems like...
And the series Marvel Zombies.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
right.
indeed. I mentioned that Ultimate Fantastic Four, Kev, because we're going to do a spotlight on that upcoming here soon. Not right this minute, but keep your eyes out for it. And we're going to talk about the Ultimate FF.
Nice.
So,
5
picks for you, 5 picks for me.
I think that does it for this week. What's this week anyway? April, where are we?
We're in August.
Oh, yeah, August.
Yes.
August the 13th? 13th? I don't know. Where am I?
You are at Flashback Comics in Woodbridge, Virginia.
Oh, that's my favorite place.
Oh, well.
It must be Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. So, Mrs. Ghostwan, if you're looking for your husband, he's right here. He's right here. He'll be fine. We'll feed him. Please come get him at some point.
So Troy, when it comes to both Comics Online and Flashback comics and games, it seems like folks should like us on Facebook.
They should like us on Facebook. You know what else they should do? They should follow us on Twitter.
Oh, they should follow us on Twitter.
Yes, indeed. It seems like they should subscribe to something.
Subscribe to the YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. I was going to say Washington Post, but YouTube.
That'll do.
Yeah.
And all the other stuff. You can find everything.
Absolutely. Come into the store here and catch our shenanigans live and in person. Pick up some comics and have a good time.
It's even better in person. He'll touch you.
I will not.
He'll touch your heart.
Ephemerally.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye-bye.
From leaping tall buildings to going off like gamma bombs. Switch your internet browser to ComicsOnline.com.